Okay, so this is our 30-minute Monday morning stretch class. This is our level one class, meaning that it's open for all levels. And as always, we will be starting in a seated position and then moving to a standing position for the remainder of the class. And this class is really designed to be a short and sweet movement session where we get our bodies warmed up and going for the day. And as the name implies, it's a stretch class, so it's gentle. We're not doing anything vigorous, and I definitely encourage everybody to listen to your bodies during the class today. If anything feels painful or uncomfortable, you are more than welcome to stop or ease off. Do listen to your body because there are so many people in the class. I'm not able to be super specific, and so all the exercises we are doing are very general in a sense. And so, if anything needs to be modified or eased off for your bodies, please feel free to do so. I definitely don't want you to hurt yourself in the class, so just be mindful of that. We don't need any equipment for the class, just a chair to sit in to start with. Ideally, the chair that you've got shouldn't have any wheels at the bottom. So ideally not a computer chair, because if you do have wheels at the bottom, as we get moving, the chair might start moving. It's not the end of the world if that's the only chair you have, but it might be easier if you have a non-wheeled chair and it's sturdy. Same with chairs with armrests. Ideally, if you don't have armrests, that would be really great because you can move your arms and legs and not worry about hitting your limbs on the armrest. But of course, if you only have a chair with an armrest, that's okay. Just be mindful of your limbs as we go along today. Okay, I've just let a few more people in from the waiting room. I think I see everybody connected to audio now. Okay, perfect. We'll get started. I'll move back to my chair. And you might have noticed I'm wearing a Parkinson Super Walk t-shirt. And the reason I got that on today is because September is coming up and we have Super Walk, our yearly fundraiser coming up. So I encourage you to check out our website through the Parkinson Society. You can have a look at your local Parkinson Super Walk and join in if you like. Okay. So to start off today, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see my position. If you're someone who's new to class today, we always start the class by checking in with our postures. We want to sit up nice and tall, and we want to move ourselves to the front of the chair. And the reason for that is because if I'm sitting all the way back here and I'm leaning into the chair, it's really hard to move my arms and legs. And so we want to be sitting upright, engaging our tummy muscles and moving ourselves to the front of the chair so we're in this kind of ready stance, ready position to have our bodies moving. So we're sitting tall at the fronts of our chairs. And all we're going to do today is start off with clasping our hands. And we're going to reach our arms up towards the ceiling, really pulling yourself up towards the ceiling, almost like you're inside a straw and you're being sucked up towards the ceiling. We're pulling our arms towards the ceiling, stretch, stretch, stretch. And then we're going to take it a little bit further and just curve over onto a diagonal. It can be a very subtle movement, doesn't have to be very far. And we're going to come back to the center, stretching our fists up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to go on to the other diagonal. Now remember, if anything feels painful or sore or just uncomfortable, you're more than welcome to ease off. Let's do that again. We're going to drop our arms, shake them out for a moment, and then we're going to restart. We're going to clasp our hands, reaching up to the ceiling. Keep going. I'm just going to let somebody in from the waiting room. Keep stretching towards the ceiling. And then we're going to take it onto a diagonal, reaching, stretching, pulling. And then back to the middle. Nicely done, everybody. One more time on the other side, stretching onto the diagonal. You should feel a nice stretch along the bottom of your armpits, maybe into your torso as well. Last one, reaching up to the ceiling. And we're gonna circle our wrists all the way down, nicely done. I'm gonna move forward a little bit. I'm not hitting my wall. We're gonna take one arm and we're gonna circle the arm back. And if you have painful shoulders and you can't quite get your arm up, that's okay. You can go lower, whatever works for you today. It does not have to be the same range of movement as what I'm doing, but we just want some gentle stretches of the arm, gentle movement in the shoulder today. Let's go forward. Nicely done. Same arm, we're just going forward this time. Good, just like before, if you need to lower the range, that's okay. Do whatever feels nice on your body today. Let's rest and do the same thing on the other side. We're gonna circle back. We're sitting nice and tall in our chairs still. Hopefully we're not leaning back, we're not slouching, we're sitting nice and tall as we're doing this movement. And let's go the other direction forward. Same arm, we're just going forward. Nicely done. And now when you're ready, we're gonna add our other arm, but this time the other arm is gonna go backwards. So one arm is circling forward and one arm is circling back. This one's a little bit of a brain teaser, waking up your brain a little bit. So one arm is circling forward, one arm is circling back, and they're both meeting at the top at the same time, and they're meeting at the bottom at the same time. Nicely done. This one always feels a little bit strange because we're moving in two different directions at the same time. And then let's switch directions. So whichever arm was going forward a moment ago, you're now going to go back. And whichever arm was going back a moment ago, you're now going forward. It's the same thing. We're still doing one arm in one direction and the other arm in the other direction. Nicely done, everybody. 3 more. 2. Last one. And let's rest, shake it out. Okay, we're gonna take our hand, you're gonna grab hold of your opposite elbow and you're gonna pull it up towards your armpit. Try to drop the shoulder down. So we don't want it up by our ear. We're gonna try to lengthen it down towards the floor. And hopefully you should feel a bit of a stretch on the outside of your arm. If you don't feel it as much, you can pull that arm in towards you more. If you have painful shoulders and you want to sit this one out, that's okay too. Whatever feels good on your bodies today. Take that same elbow, you're going to reach it up to the ceiling and drop the arm down. So from the side, my elbow is pointing it at the ceiling if you can. Keeping your shoulders away from the ears, you should feel a stretch on the side of the arm. Again, if your shoulders are painful and you can't do this, that's okay. You can sit this one out or ease off. Nicely done. And let's drop the arm. Same thing on the other side. We're going to take our hand, hold onto the elbow, and then we're going to pull it across our chest. And just like the previous side, our shoulder, we want to make sure it's down towards the floor, not up by our ears. So we're lengthening the arm down towards the floor. Nicely done, everybody. That same arm, we're going to point the elbow up at the ceiling so you can feel that stretch on that underside of the arm. And if you can't go quite as far as how I'm going, that's okay. You can ease off, do what feels nice for your bodies today. It does not have to be the same as what I'm doing. Nicely done. And let's drop the arms, shake out the hands a little bit. Okay, we're gonna check in with our posture. Hopefully you're still sitting nice and tall and at the front of your chair and we're not slouching back. We're gonna sit tall, take our hand, we're gonna hold on to the outside of the opposite knee. And then the other hand is gonna wrap around to grab the chair wherever you can reach. We're going to sit up tall. Using our arms, we're going to pull ourselves around in this kind of rotational stretch. So it's like you're trying to look at your back wall. And as we're doing this, we're thinking about our spine like a corkscrew. So we're rotating on the spot, but we're not rotating downwards or slouching to the side. We're keeping our spine nice and long. In this position, shoulders away from the ears if you can, using your arms to pull you around. And let's ease off. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Take your hand, hold on to the opposite knee. The other hand's going to wrap around the back of the chair or wherever you can reach. Sit tall. Using our hands, we're going to pull ourselves around into this rotational stretch. Our crown of the heads are reaching up to the ceiling. We're twisting around to look at the back wall. And remember, if there's anything that feels painful or not right, you're more than welcome to ease off or stop the stretch entirely, whatever feels good on your bodies today. Nicely done. Hopefully you're breathing during the stretch. We're not holding our breaths. And let's ease off. Nicely done. Okay, I'm going to turn my chair sideways. This time, we're actually going to move our bottom to the back of the chair and we're going to lean into the backrest. So basically, everything I told you not to do in the beginning, we are now doing. Oh, I'm going to let someone in from the waiting room. Just give me a second here. Okay, so we're sitting back in our chair and our back is resting against the backrest. What we're going to do here is we're going to take our arms and put them behind our head or ears or neck, whatever feels nice on your body. Make sure your elbows are pointing out to the side, so not forward. I'm opening my elbows out to the side. And then I'm going to go up and over the back of the chair. So I'm stretching my upper back over the backrest of the chair to look up at the ceiling. Now, just be very careful with this one. If you're someone with osteoporosis in your back or you've got bone density issues, you might want to ease off on this one a little bit and maybe just straighten up into a vertical position rather than going up and over the chair. But see how you feel. We just want to be careful. If you do have brittle bones, we don't want to injure ourselves here. Let's ease off and we're going to reset. Same thing, elbows up, out to the side, and we're going to go up and over the back of the chair. Keep going. I'm just going to let somebody else in from the waiting room. Make sure you're breathing as you're holding the stretch. And let's ease off again. Now we're going to slouch just a tiny bit. So we're going to slouch a little bit in our chairs just so we can get a slightly higher up portion of our back. And we're going to repeat it one more time. Elbows out to the side, up and over the back of the chair. And if you did slouch a little bit a moment ago, you'll be able to feel it in a slightly different position. Although if the back of your chair is quite high up, you might not feel this as much. Good, and let's ease off and we're going to sit up nice and tall again, moving to the front of our chairs. Now, this time, we're going to straighten one of our legs, like so. So you can see one of my knees is straight and the other one stays bent. I'm going to sit up as tall as I can, and I'm going to walk my hands down my straightened leg. So noticing how my spine is long and I'm hinging at the hip, so I am not curving my back and reaching down. I'm going to keep my back straight. That's the number one priority. And then I'm going to hinge at the hips. You might not be able to go very far, and that's okay. You should feel a stretch at the back of that straightened thigh. So hinging at the hips, trying to keep your spine long if you can. You might not be able to reach down very far, and that's okay. We're just feeling that stretch at the back of the thigh. Breathing as you're doing this so we're not holding our breath. And let's try the same thing on the other side. Straighten the knees, sitting up tall, hinging forward at the hips, long backs. Hopefully you feel this at the back of the thigh, breathing. And let's ease off. We're going to have a stand up. So just like last week, we want to talk a little bit about how we're standing up. If you're sitting like this at the back of your seat and then you're trying to stand up, it's going to be really hard. And we always end up doing this and then trying to pull ourselves up. So what we really want to do is we want to actually move our bottom forward in the chair, because like I mentioned last week, if I have a water bottle here, I can balance it on my hand pretty well because the weight of the bottle is directly over the base, right? But if the weight of the bottle goes beyond the base, the bottle falls. And that's exactly like our body. If our weight is all the way back here and we're trying to stand up, there's no way we can do that because our weight is too far back beyond our base of support. Whereas if we move forward and then we think about moving our weight forward over our base and then we stand up, all of a sudden we're better controlled. Same with if you're sitting back down. If you sit down and your weight goes back, we end up falling into the chair. Whereas if I'm sitting down and I keep my weight over my base and then I lower down, I'm more controlled. So take a moment here and see if you can do 2 sit-to stands, thinking about that water bottle analogy where we're bringing our weight over our base and then we stand up. And then we're keeping our weight over our base to sit back down. So we're just going to do 2 in your own time, trying to keep yourself balanced. And on your second one, you're going to stay standing. And I'm going to move my chair out of your way. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to check the time. Okay, good. We still have time. We're going to find a wall here. Now, the wall you use, ideally, we don't want any shells protruding from it because I don't want it to hurt your back. But you're going to take a moment and find a wall that you can use, and you're going to lean back into the wall. So you want your hips against the wall, your shoulders against the wall. Your feet don't have to be against the wall. They can be a little bit further away to help you with balance. But you're going to find a wall. We're going to keep our hips and our lower back on the wall. We're going to float the arms up in front of us. And you're going to try to squeeze your arms back. So try and press. Whoops, let me move over. You're going to try to press the back of your shoulders against this wall. It's like you're trying to make an imprint onto the wall with the entire length of your spine. And then we're going to bring our arms forward and try that again. We're going to squeeze our shoulder blades together behind us and press the back of our arms and the back of the shoulders against that wall. So you're really straightening up, opening the chest. And let's do that again. Same thing. We're going to squeeze back into the wall, opening the chest, pressing the back of the shoulders and ribs into the wall. Here, if you can, keeping your arms against the wall and your shoulders against the wall, you're going to just slide a little bit. It's kind of like you're dusting the wall, if you will, like you're trying to make a dust angel. Unless your house is very clean and there's no dust, you're going to pretend there's dust. So you want the entire length of the back of your arms and your shoulders to be against the wall if you can, and you're sliding your arms like windshield wipers against the wall. Nicely done. Let's do 4 more. Trying to keep your entire length of the back and back of the arms against the wall if you can. Good, and let's drop the arms and shake them out. This time, we're going to put our arms up into this W shape. So it's kind of like I'm making the letter W in the alphabet. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to press my arms back into the wall. Hold for a few seconds. You're trying to press your shoulder blades into the wall, the back of the shoulders, the back of the arms. And then let's ease off a little bit. And let's do that again. We're going to squeeze back into the wall, really straighten up, opening that chest. And we're going to ease off a little bit. Last one here, we're going to add some flair to it. We're going to press the arms into the back of the wall, keeping your arms on the wall and your shoulders on the wall. We're going to try to reach our arms up into a Y shape, like the letter Y with your body. And then we're going to pull the arms down back into the W, still keeping the arms against the wall. So it's like you're dusting the wall. You're sliding your arms against the wall. Y to the W. Try to keep your arms on the wall if you can. One more. Y and W. And rest. Let's shake it out. Nicely done. Okay. We're going to switch gears. We're going to hold on to a wall or a table, whatever you've got for some balance. We're going to bring one leg back and keep one leg forward such that our front leg is bent and our back leg is straight. Let me roll up the bottom of my pants so you can see my legs. Okay, so one leg forward, one leg back. You can see my front knee is bent and my back knee is straight. You're going to try to reach that back heel towards the floor. Even if it can't touch the floor, that's okay. You're trying to straighten that knee and reach the heel to the floor as far as you can. And you should feel a stretch in that calf muscle in the back leg. If you don't feel it, you'll need to separate your legs a little more. You're trying to straighten that back knee and reach the heel to the floor. Nicely done. Breathing as you're stretching. Remember, we're not holding our breath, we're breathing naturally. And if anything feels painful or uncomfortable, you're more than welcome to ease off a little bit, although I guess discomfort is part of stretching, but we definitely don't want anything to be painful. We don't want anything to feel like it's injuring you. Okay, so we're going to bring that back leg in a little bit. So just take a step in, and then we're going to bend our back knee and kind of shift our weight onto that leg a little bit. So you should now still feel the stretch in the calf muscle, but maybe a little bit closer down towards the heel this time. So we're kind of bending that leg. Or putting our weight on our back leg slightly. Nicely done. If you don't feel it, you might need to walk that leg back a little bit, but still keeping it bent. Good, nicely done, breathing. Let's switch legs. So we're now going to start with our knee straight stretch. So we're going to have our front knee bent, back knee is straight, and you're going to reach that back heel towards the floor with that knee straight. And you should feel it in that back calf muscle. If you don't feel it, you might need to separate your legs a little bit more. Holding it here, breathing. The stretch should feel quite nice, but if it feels really painful or something doesn't feel right, you can ease off or you can stop altogether, whatever works for your body today. And let's take that back leg and walk it in just a little bit, just a step, and then you're gonna bend that back knee. Hopefully you should feel a stretch still in the calf, but maybe a little bit closer down towards the ankle. If you don't feel it, you can bring that leg back a little bit more, but you're still bending back. Nicely done, breathing. And let's stretch it out. We're gonna take our chairs that we used earlier, and we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna do a little bit of a hip stretch. And I guess this depends on how high your seat is. But what you're gonna do here is you're gonna put a leg onto the chair like so. And you can hold on if you need for balance, but you're going to put your foot onto the chair. You can hold on to the back of the chair or to a wall or a table, whatever works for you today. And what you're going to do is you're going to lean forward slightly into that leg. So let me show you that again. My foot is on the chair. I'm going to lean forward a little bit. And you should feel it at the back of the hip on that the leg that's hiked up. So you should feel a little bit into the hip, maybe the back of the thigh a tiny bit as well. Just gonna stretch the back of the hip. This was a request from during the week last time, so we're gonna add this in. Nicely done. And the higher the seat of the chair, the more you'll feel this. So if you don't actually feel it, you might need to get a slightly higher seat, or maybe put some books or blocks on the seat and do the same thing. Let's ease off, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other leg. So we're gonna put the other foot onto the seat of the chair. Again, please hold on for balance. I don't want anyone to fall, and this is not a balance exercise. So if you need to, please hold on. And then after you put your foot onto the seat, you're gonna lean forward into that leg a little bit, and you should feel it on the back side of your hip, or maybe a little bit to the bottom of the thigh too. And again, the higher the seat, the more you'll feel the stretch. And if you don't feel the stretch, you might need to actually straighten up your back a little bit. So if you're like this, you might not feel it as much. See if you can straighten up just a little bit. Nicely done. And let's ease off. We're going to move our chairs out of the way. We're going to do another one, but this one's slightly different. So for this one, you might need to hold on either side, but I'm going to show you facing you so you can actually see. I'm going to take one leg and I'm going to cross it over the other one. Okay? It doesn't have to be crossed over right beside. It could be slightly in front, but the point is you're crossing that heel over. And then from here, you're actually going to lean. You're going to lean your hip away. Let me bring a chair and a little straighter. So I'm bringing my foot across like that. I'm crossing it over the other leg. And then I'm going to push my hip over. So whichever leg is being crossed, that's the hip you're pushing towards. And you can get your arms up to out of the way if you need to, or you can keep it down. But by pushing the hip over, you're keeping your body kind of straight. So we're not turning our chest down. I'm keeping my chest facing forward. And you should feel a little bit on the side of the hip there, that stretch. And again, please hold on if you need. This is not a balance exercise, and I don't want anyone to fall over. So if you need to just hold on or ease off, whatever works for you today. And relax. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So the other leg now is going to cross over. So remember, the foot doesn't have to be right beside the previous leg, but you just need to cross that heel over at least. And then you're going to push your hip out to the side. So whichever foot is crossed over, that's the hip you're pushing out. And you can reach the arms up again, or you can keep the arm down, whatever feels good for you today, but make sure your chest is facing forward. We don't want to be like this. We want to keep our chest forward, and you're really thinking, pushing that hip outwards, maybe a little bit on a diagonal too, if that feels nice. You should feel a bit of a stretch on the outside of the hip and maybe a bit on the trunk too. Nicely done. Let's ease off. Let's do one more. Time, you're gonna use your chair again. So the seat of the chair should be facing you. And just like before, we're gonna hike a leg onto the chair, but this time you're actually gonna put the outside of your ankle onto the chair. So it looks like this. Let me go in front like that. So I'm going to use the outside of my ankle. So I'm going to go like this. See how the outside of my ankle is on the seat? And I'm going to gently push that knee downward. So it's kind of like I'm trying to put the outside of my foot onto the chair and the outside of my leg onto the chair. So I'm kind of in this position where it kind of looks like I'm making the letter or the number 4 with my body. And the more you think about pressing that knee down towards the floor, the more you feel it in the back of the hip. You might feel it in the front of the groin too. But remember, nothing should be painful. It should feel like a stretch, but if it feels painful or anything burning or sharp, then I want you to ease off on this one. Nicely done. Let's come out of the stretch nice and gently. And then we're going to do the same on the other leg. So just like before, you want the outside of that foot, of that ankle to be on the chair. And you're going to try to drop that knee down towards the floor. And you should feel a stretch on the back of the hip or a little bit in the groin too. Please hold on to something for this. I don't want you to fall. Unless you have good balance and you can do it without holding on, then that's fine too, but just be a bit careful. The more you drop that knee down to the floor, the more you'll feel that. And let's ease off. Nicely done. And we'll shake out the arms and shake out the legs. And I think that's time. Ooh, 10 o'clock, right on the dot. Okay, good. I'm not late today. Okay, so as you can see, 30 minutes is actually quite short, but it's a really, really nice chunk of time for us to get some motion into our bodies and get a bit of stretching going. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day and week and have a great long weekend if you're celebrating.